Okay, today I'm going to be putting a light fitting into this marble pillar, which we bought recently second hand. So it did have one in previously, but it was a bit old, faulty incandescent bulb with bad wiring. So what I was going to do was to fit one of these LED strip lights inside it, but on measuring it up, they're both too big to fit. So what I've got is one of these little LED cable things, which I'll show you it lit up. So I was going to put one of these lights in it, but this one was obviously too fat. This one will fit nicely in, give a nice soft glow through the inside of there. And it's previously had, I don't know if you can see with this one, a hole drilled in where it's had the cable gone in before, but it's slightly too big for that to be pushed through easily. So I'm just going to slightly widen that with a drill with a masonry bit on there. And then the inside is held together by one long screw thread which runs all the way through the centre, and there's a nut at either end to hold all the sections together. A little wooden piece to hold it all together, and then it comes apart in sections. So I'm going to take this base unit outside and enlarge the hole. I have both my helpful helpers helping today. Okay, that's it. Okay, the next step is to feed the LED strip through the newly enlarged hole. Now we have a problem. The bit's even wider. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to make the hole even bigger to get that piece of electronic through there. Okay, let's see if it likes that any better. And then we run it up through the centre of the column, which has a bigger hole. Yeah, it goes in there, around 90 degrees, and up the inside. Okay, so now we put the base thread back through. There we go. Start reassembling it with the strip light in place. Take that back down to where the light starts. It's got a sticky backing on it. This thing can be cut to length, but I think to get the maximum brightness out of it, I'm going to run it up one side and down the other of this central thread. I've just got a little cable tie to stop it sliding down. I've got a few more of these little cable ties, they'll help keep the thing in place. Just try and keep it straight. Keep the pieces opposite each other. One last one for the bottom. Okay, just test it works. At the very end too don't. Apart from that, the rest look okay. Oh, there's one up there that's gone off as well. Okay, so it's not a perfect device. Just tighten these up. Okay, that's the thing reassembled. Just need to clip off this excess plastic. And then reassemble it. Oh, missed one. Try it with the light on. There we have it, a new lease of life for an old marble pillar. Yes. I have a little helper getting underfoot here. Hello, Zoom. Okay, here we are for part 2, which is the second of the marble pillars. The first one has had its light fitted and is working quite nicely. This one has had a very old and ratty looking plug attached to it, so that's going to be coming out. I'm going to fit probably one of these LED tubes inside this if there's room for that. That'll be cheaper than the little strips, because these are only about a £5. The plinth. That one's quite tightly fastened in. That I have to get a socket set to get that off. Okay. Same wooden plug. It's also in sections. And this has previously had an incandescent bulb just jury rigged to it. So I'll take that out and fit a new LED to it. Get rid of the old piece of rubbish. Check our new bulb for size. Yes, that will take one quite nicely. Let's see if the older, fatter one will fit. No, it needs to be the slim one. Came with this moulded plug, but they're being moulded on both ends, it won't fit through the hole in the side, so I'm going to have to clip it off and put a new plug on there, I think. Right, just going to clean the inside of that base unit, and Zuzu is here to help offer moral support and attack the Hoover. Okay, so we'll remove the plug from this piece of wire and thread it through and then fit a different plug to it. There we go. The wire runs to the inside and the connection's ready for the lamp. So we just need to strip this down and fit a new plug. Okay, so I've changed the plug on that. Now it's all put back together in the right order. The electrics, so test it. Okay, so it's just to put back together now. Let's see how far up I want this thing to come. Yeah, I think that's about the right height, so I'll fasten it on there. Okay, so that's secured in position. Make sure the switch is on, because it's going to be trapped inside after this. And the retaining wood goes back on. Washer, just to stop the screw from falling back down. Just holding the thread to stop it from dropping out of the bottom. And then tighten it back. That's good and firm. Et voila. And that's two of them done. And this is the third and final one. This one's the biggest. I've done the same thing to it. Taken the old electrical wire out, pushed a new cable through, fitted a new plug to that end. This is just going to be a temporary fix because the central rod in this one's old and rusty, so it needs changing out, but all the shops are locked down at the moment, so this is just going to be temporary reassembly. Again, I've just put a little cable tie around there to keep the lamp from slipping down. I'll put a slightly bigger one on the top. Just basic white cable tie. That's just to keep it in place. Okay. A heavy top plate, that one, solid stone. Obviously it'll get tightened up once the new bar goes in. And there we go. That's all three of them. And there we are. 3 upcycled marble columns. Okay, so we're doing an update of this marble column lamp. What's happened is I've taken the old steel thread out of the middle, which is looking very sad and rusty, and we bought a nice new one in a slightly larger size. It's a 10mm threaded rod, which is a metre long, so I've just chopped the excess off to make it fit the previous size. Bought some new stainless nuts and washers, and I've also found where I'm going to be housing the new lamp, so I'm going to cut it to size and add an inline switch just in there, and replace this piece of cable with this longer piece and put the plug on the end of that instead. So I'll crack on with that. The previous rod didn't have this top washer and nut on, where I've added it so it doesn't fall through the hole while we're assembling it. Okay, and the thing that holds it all together is this piece of wood which goes on the thread. Okay, it sits on that lip there. So put the washer on. Right, before I tighten that up, I'm going to fix the lighting and then find out which bits look the best together for facing the front. So those wired in and lined up. Just put the cover back on. Okay, so that's replaced the plug, a long bit of cable with an inline switch. So check if it works. Right. So find the nicest bit to face the front. Okay, so that's assembled apart from the top cap. So I'm going to take it to its final location and set it up with the top cap on and plug it in. And here it is in its final destination. It's going to be a nice bedside lamp.